Good evening, friends. So today we have with us is a Sony C2305. The problem with this phone is that the display is broken. I'll try to switch it on. You can see this white crack on this display. And according to the customer, even the touch plate of this phone is not working properly. So for this phone, our mission is to change the touch as well as the LCD panel of this phone. So come, let's repair. This is my favorite cotton cloth. I use it so as to not to scratch up the display or touch of the phone. Anyway, we are going to change it, but it is in the general practice, so I just use this cloth. You have to unscrew all the screws. And let's speed up this process a bit. One thing to keep in mind is, while you're working on a Sony phone, that in a lot of phones you get bigger screws, thicker screws at the corners, and the middle screws are shorter in size. Okay, using this pry tool, we will try to pull off this cover. Pulling off this cover will expose the motherboard and the internal parts of the mobile phone. Just try to gently take out the cover. Don't force your way through in. If you have to force your way through in, there is something wrong. Probably a screw is still in there. Remove the battery, so when we work with the motherboard, there is no electricity running through the board. This is the power and the volume key belt. This is the display connector. Remove the display belt gently, and then this is the touch belt. Always keep in mind, whatever belts you see, you have to remove them before you try pulling up the motherboard, or else you might break a belt, and that will be really painful. We should slowly put up the motherboard. Take off the antenna or the RX cable, that you also may call it. This is the battery removal tool. But first, we should try pull off this white strip. If it's too hard to pull through this tape, you can use the battery removal tool. Slowly lift up the battery. Remember, never pierce, bend or heat up the battery. This may cause smokes, fumes, or even the battery may blast. Slowly pull up the battery. Let's keep it aside. Remove the RX antenna cable. This is a crucial part. This is the proximity sensor rubber. Make sure you don't damage it or don't lose it. Once you lose this rubber, it will be a pain to fix the proximity sensor. Make sure you keep all the parts in a safe place, in a place where you won't lose them. Okay, so now we can open this beautiful piece of glass that is of no use now. Keep the parts well secure. Don't lose any of the parts. This is one of the basics of mobile repairing. And you can also see my Note 3 recording everything. I don't use that phone now because it's not a 4G. Keep a mild temperature on the heat gun and start heating up the glass. Heat it up so that it is just too hot for you to touch it. That will loosen up the glue in between the frame and the touch. It should be just too hot for you to touch. Heat it up uniformly all around the glasses, all around the corners. That will make it pulling it out very easy. And now using this metal pry tool, we will try to lift up this touch. It is also known as the Dizitizer. Slowly slide the pry tool in and cut through the glue. Once you have lifted a corner, place something that holds it there. These guitar picks are the best things for you if you are in the business of mobile repairing. Heating up around the corners a bit will ease up the glue and we can pull the touch plate very easily out of the main frame. Once enough heat has been applied, the pry tool will slide easily through the glue. Now pull out the touch easily. Don't break the belt. We don't have to use this touch again, but still, it should be in our practice to be gentle with the parts, especially if they are made of glass. And there you go. You have your main frame detached from the LCD and the touch. Using an isopropyl alcohol or IP cleaner as you say, spray it around the glue so that the glue might loosen up, and using some sharp tool, tweezers or any tool of your choice, scrape off this glue. Cleaning is very necessary. So now you see the frame is absolutely clean and in precise condition. We have to clean this up so that when the new digitizer and the new LCD will be placed in, they fit into the frame perfectly. This is the new digitizer or the touch panel. There is a plastic film that has to be removed, but we will remove that later. This is the new LCD panel. It is also covered up with a plastic sheet, which we will remove afterwards. I'll just try to lift it up a bit. Let's remove it afterwards so that the glue that we apply doesn't get sticks up into it. Thankfully, there is an insulation tape on the new LCD panel. Insulating this is very necessary. It can avoid short circuits. This is the B7000. I use it to fix up all the touch plates or combos that I use. This is a very nice glue. As such, you will not find double tapes of frames of every model very easily. So this glue comes in very handy. And after drying up, it also acts as a cushion between the main frame and the touch panel, so as to absorb some small jerks that might be coming in your phone's way. Make sure you apply the glue all around the frame, especially these corners. Once enough glue has been applied, the touch will sit down very nicely. The middle part of the main frame is where the touch tends to rise up very easily. Make sure you don't clog up the component holes with this glue. There are some hard to reach corners to which glue can be applied this way using the prior to. Okay, the frame is ready for the display to be mounted. Make sure the golden contacts don't touch the glue. Easily slide in the belt and slowly place the LCD panel onto the frame. Nice and easy. Now make sure to remove this plastic film before you put the touch. The LCD is a very delicate part. You should handle it very carefully. Now carefully look at this plastic sheet that is to be removed. If you are going to just pull it off, you will break the touch belt. So starting from the bottom, slowly pull this out easily and don't just pull it with a jerk. Easily loosen it from all the four corners and lift it up. Otherwise, trust me, you are going to break this belt. Now slowly, without touching the glue to the belt, place the touch and with gentle yet firm fingers seal the fate of this touch plate. It is nice and easy in its place now. Well done. Press it around all the corners so it will sit on the main frame firmly. Now our job is 80% done. Now what we have to do is stick this display belt with some double tape. When you're using scissors on the phone, make sure you don't damage the belt. This double tape will hold this display belt onto its position, which is very necessary. If the display belt keeps moving, it will cause flickers to the display. Slowly remove the insulation tape and the display belt will sit on its place. Now we can move further with the motherboard. Recheck all the parts that you removed. First thing first, place the proximity sensor rubber onto its place. Clean it if it has accumulated a little bit of dust onto it. Put in the RX antenna cable. This will go downside, so it is very necessary that you don't forget to plug it in before placing the motherboard. This is the front camera, and it will be difficult to place it like this, so place it first and then you can place the motherboard. Make sure while placing the motherboard you don't nick any of the belts. Gently place the display cable into the holder and don't use metal tools in this. Display belts and touch plate belts are very delicate. Always use plastic pry tools to mount them to their places. This is the new touch panel plate. This is the front camera. There always will be some extra glue that you have to scrape off, but that can be done later on when the glue is fully cured. Plug in both the ends of the RX antenna cable. Don't forget to plug it in, because if you don't plug this cable in, this will cause network problems. It's not an earthquake. I guess I touched my recording mobile. Never press the cable with a metal tool. Always use this plastic tool. This will not damage your cable. Okay, so we are now good to go. Just recheck everything and then you can mount the battery. The stickiness over here is gone, so we should use some double tape to hold the battery onto its position. The battery won't come out of its socket if they fall it accidentally. Once the battery is in position, we can mount the frame cover. With this particular model, I once learned it the hard way that the 4 corner screws should go into the corners. The screws are easily distinguished, so you won't have any problem. And now with all the screws in position, we are ready to start this mobile. This glue can be scraped off later on. So there we go. A new life to the mobile. Mobile repairing is a piece of art. It just comes from inside of you. The touch and the display are both working very well. So that's how we do it. But this is not the end. There is one more crucial thing left, and that is taping off this display and touch. This yellow tape, also known as heat resisting tape, will hold the touch down onto its position for as long as we want. We generally keep it for 7 to 8 hours. After that, the glue has been totally cured and it will keep sitting on the frame nicely. This taping is very necessary. Once the taping has been done, you can be sure of your work. Just recheck that the touch plate is not coming out from any corners, and mission accomplished. These two are history now. So, I expect a big thumbs up from you, and also to subscribe the channel. And till we meet again, stay strong. See you again.